and I'm upstairs in my office.
That's funny. Yeah, we're gonna wait a little bit longer because I know that there are a few more people that are signed up to watch. So we'll just give them a little bit longer, and then we will get going. Cool. So you guys can chat amongst yourselves if you want, because after this I'm gonna put people on mute.
Okay.
Now is the time.
So now, now is the time to get your pre-program whispers in.
Hello, Bonnie.
Am I going to be the only guy here?
Probably.
In my screen, you're in the center.
Yeah, he's in the center for me
too. You're surrounded.
Yes, I'm enjoying this.
So Bonnie, I have been collecting containers from produce for Tri-Faith Garden, like you asked way back when.
Can't hear.
And okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Anyone?
We can hear.
I hear you.
Can
yeah.
you hear me, Bonnie?
I can't hear anybody.
Uh-oh.
Something.
Here.
Are your speakers turned on?
You hear me?
Here, I'm going to Bonnie. Bonnie. She might need to restart.
I can see you.
Yeah, and we can hear her.
I don't think she can hear me say restart. I don't think she can hear anyone. Yeah, oh, that's a great idea. You can text her. Ask her to try, make sure her computer's not muted.
This is a great example of creativity. This is just the way that we need to segue into tonight's program. Is Wendy went with the cell phone route. Kyle went with writing a note route. I think it really sets the tone.
Hi.
That's what I love.
Sign off and sign back in.
Okay.
That's what I love about Tri-Faith is we are a whole group of creative problem solvers. And it's like, well, that didn't work, so how do we make this work?
Yeah, we'll wait for Bonnie to hop back in and then we'll get started.
Yeah, I didn't see did you not want this to be bigly, hugely advertised? Because I didn't see any Tri-Faith emails about it. Or Temple Israel ones.
It was in the newsletter, I think a couple times.
And I missed it.
But and we did it on social some. But yeah, I think I'm also excited.
A test of people to see whether or not they read to the bottom of the newsletter. We're going to give prizes for people the question that they scrolled.
Well, Kyle told me I could find it on Facebook, but some of my favorite people are here, so I get to
hear you, Bonnie.
Bonnie, can you hear us now?
I can hear.
I can hear us now.
Bonnie.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen for a brief moment just to kind of give you guys just a little bit of things to think about. None of those. Okay. So welcome. We're doing the Tri-Faith open mic about creation and creativity. I'm trying to mix both words together. My name's Amanda Ryan. If you haven't met me, I think I've met basically all of you, or have not, or also recruited you to come today. So today's just kind of a looser program so that we kind of see what we've been up to during quarantine and COVID and just some of the creative things that people do throughout their lives and to showcase who we are as individuals. So first I wanted to have this quote by Maya Angelou, and it says, "You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. It is our shame and our loss when we discourage people from being creative. Too often, creativity is smothered rather than nurtured." there has to be a climate in which new ways of thinking, perceiving, questioning are encouraged. People also have to feel they are needed. So that, I hope, kind of just sets the tone for what we're going to be doing tonight, and that the people that are presenting and the people that are watching, that you all feel that your creativity is nurtured, and that that through this process that you also feel that that creative energy in yourself in turn are needed throughout our work with Tri-Faith. And then just some kind of questions for you to think about while we're going through this. We're not going to ask you to answer these. These are just kind of internal questions. So where does creativity come from? Why do people turn towards creativity in times of crisis? Where is creativity found in your religious or spiritual community, or the religion and spirituality in itself? And then how do you individually create or show your creativity? And how can you bring more creativity into your own personal lives? And that is where I will end with that. And we are going to have Kyle Knapp be our first performer. I'm going to mute everybody besides Kyle, and he will perform a song for us.
There.
There.
Okay. Now I'm unmuted. All right. This I wrote this song when I was driving to the hospital to visit a young friend of mine who was very sick and probably going to die. She did survive. She later got a heart transplant, and she's doing all right now. But it was just all the things that ran through my mind as I was contemplating losing a friend brought to mind the presence of God in all of these things, and even in hardship and loss, and in simple things, and like the changing of the seasons. And anyway, that's what this song is, I guess, sort of about. Sybil puts her boots on and crunches through October's cast-off clothing. The wind says autumn's over, but her heart still hears the spring. She walks out on a cold November morning as the snowflakes gently fall and kiss the frosty face of the dawn. And no one seems to notice another mystic moment come and gone. Days are growing longer now, and Sybil struggles to shake off winter's chill. Will her passion be awakened as April's ardent sky draws the dewy drapes of evening to make love to the trembling earth and kiss the blushing cheeks of twilight? Ah, but no one seems to notice eternal secrets whispered in the night. Fragile fruits are waiting to be tasted, Sybil. So stay with me a while, and we'll savor summer's golden glory as all creation reaches to touch the tender tears on God's face. But does anybody notice the mystery unveiled in his embrace? All creation reaches to taste the tender tears on God's face. I'll lift up your heart and wonder, mysteriously lost in his embrace.
Thank you very much. That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful. Our next brave individual is Carmela. And did she just disappear? She just disappeared. So
Open mic scandal.
I know. She's like, no, I can't compete. So I guess I will go next because then I was after Carmela. And during quarantine and COVID, I really wanted to focus on recentering myself and the things that I have always been passionate about, but have lost connection to somewhere along the way, of being busy, of being an overachiever, of being a perfectionist. And that has really been the last 10 years of my life, and it's been hard, right? It's tiring trying to keep up all of that. And so first, I started to try to do a new medium, which was embroidery. And this is one that I'm working on now. It's halfway done. So like kind of like night sky, and then sun rays, and then day. This will be all filled with flowers of different colors. And then here's like a little evil eye type thing that I have been using a lot in all of my art. And then water. And then down below is gonna be like really the night sky with the moon cycle, because I also am really into, you know, the cycles and patterns, and within Judaism, like the concept of Rosh Chodesh with the new month, and that it's really tied to women and gender in a lot of ways. So I found a lot of meaning in trying to create that one. This is the first painting that I finished in probably 5 years or so. I have a horrible habit of wanting to get everything done on a painting right away. I don't want the paint to dry. I want to just finish it because I have the energy and I'm going to get it done. But with this one, I realized that that can't be the case, and that you need to wait for each layer of the paint to dry in order for it to be what you want it to be. And it's kind of a little psychedelic, and I don't really know where that came from because that's not typically my style. So I've also basically reworked my complete artistic and painting style with that. Next one is big, but kind of simple. So we still can't see. It's really big. Oh, there she is. I'll admit her. So yeah, so the sun and then earth and the moon, and then just again that like circular motion of space. The best part is getting to do the little sprinkle stars and splattering paint all over. My table is now covered in paint. And then my last show and tell is something that I'm working on for my mother, which is going to be a 3-panel series. She recently just moved to Arizona with my dad, and in Arizona they have a lot of hummingbirds that migrate through. And so they have a hummingbird feeder, and Mom really loves it. So she sent me this picture and asked me if I would paint it for her. And I was like, oh, I've never painted hummingbirds. I don't know if I can do hummingbirds. And so I started researching hummingbirds, and there's some significance within Central American indigenous traditions that hummingbirds really signify like a new start, new relationships, new understandings, and stuff like that. And I thought it was really, really beautiful for this next chapter of my parents' lives, and that they're, you know, getting to the age of retirement, and that I can see why my mom likes hummingbirds so much, and whether she realized that significance or not. And so I thought it was really beautiful. So it's going to be 3 panels. Yeah, so that's the hummingbird part so far. Yep. And then the 3rd panel will be flowers that the hummingbird is going to. So, thank you. So that's what I've been working on this quarantine.
They're all beautiful.
Thank you. And now we're going to go back to Carmela because she's back.
Hi, can you check me in, because I'm trying to get in from my computer, and it's for some reason it has been, and I know everybody froze, and then okay, let me see if now I can get in. Okay, it says that there's unable to connect. So anyway, I have the piece that I was about to share. I emailed it.
Do you want me to share that? Do you want me to show my screen for that?
Can share it, because I don't think I can do it from the drawing. Yes, if you don't mind, because that would be awesome. And while you do that, I just would like to thank you so much for doing this. I think this is such a cool idea to really bring art into a program, because this is one of the things that I truly believe is really a therapy that can help so many people, because I see how it have helped me cope with the idea of being alone, not seeing as many friends, and suddenly, I don't have to run to the office every day, and I have so much time on my hand. So what do you do? I chose to go back to college, to go back to school, and just continue to take classes to keep learning. Mm-hmm. And one of the classes I've been taking is drawing, and it's my first actually black and white drawing that I've ever made. I mean, I've never used charcoal in my painting. I usually first of all, I love what you've done with your painting. It's awesome. And I usually do large pieces of art. I also like to paint. And I started it with art journalism. And then very fast, I realized it's too confined. It was too small to do it in a small booklet. And then it turned out to do canvases and stuff like that. So, so I think, anybody can do art. There is no right or wrong with art. I think art by itself, it's a religion. But to answer one of your questions, how it's related to religion, I think art by itself, it's one person's religion, because you have your own way to create and bring out stuff in you, exactly like a religion. And the more as you said, the more you do it, the more you get. Mm-hmm. And I I'm very thankful. In fact, I'm going to write about your program. I'm going to write a paper about your program to one of my classes, because I think people needs to really, first of all, know about the tri-faith. And secondly, people need to understand that art is another form of community and connection. You know, we all, no matter who we all can be artists. We all can be creative. It's like sport, you know. There is no boundaries of who you are and where you come from, what do you believe in. And I'm delighted to meet all of you.
We're
That's
glad
for
you're
sharing.
here. Do you want to explain your picture? I think everybody can see it now.
Okay, my picture was actually, the teacher asked us to look at something for 15 minutes, to choose a spot for 15 minutes anywhere, and basically without looking at the paper to do it, you know, it's a basic drawing technique. So I was doing this blind counter, and then he said, you need to take another piece that you have in the house and you need to basically put it in as a center with nothing to do with the picture. So on the bottom, I was trying to do my fireplace and the pictures and the vase and the flower I have by my fireplace. And then on the other side of the room, I have a bowl of Mexican style fruits bowl. So I put that in there, and I was kind of surprised that I actually really, really like it. You know, for a first drawing, I thought that was pretty cool. So that's it. That's part of my house. You come visit me, you can see those things.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing everything. We'll stop the share now. And now it is another Kyle Knapp feature song. Woo! So everybody, get ready to rock your socks off.
Still on mute, Kyle.
Okay, now I'm unmuted, right? You can hear me? Yeah. Yeah, can you stall for a second? I'm trying to find the lyrics to this song I recently wrote.
Yeah,
No problem.
we have a late admission, and Wendy Goldberg would like to read us a poem.
All right.
So Wendy, take it away.
I participated in this webinar with Faith Matters, which is an interfaith organization out of Nashville today. And Reverend Jennifer Bailey read this poem, and I thought it was powerful. And it was actually written by a woman whose name is Leslie Dwight. And the title of it is, What If 2020 Isn't Canceled? What if 2020 is the year you've been waiting for? A year so uncomfortable, so painful, so scary, so raw, that it finally forces us to grow. A year that screams so loud finally awakens us from our ignorant slumber. A year we finally accept the need for change, declare change, work for change, become change. A year we finally band together instead of pushing each other apart. 2020 isn't canceled, but rather the most important year of them all.
Thank you. It is.
Thank you for sharing.
It's true. Do we need more stalling, Kyle? Shake your head, yes or no?
Amanda, do you remember at my birthday party last year when Kyle walked in and everyone went, Kyle! So I really wanted to do when you're gonna like play it.
If you,
I was definitely the geezer there. I don't.
It's a
I don't
room
think
full
there
of.
was anybody there besides me, even as old as my kids,
Yeah.
except maybe your parents were there.
My
So
mom was there
yeah, so she's
because she
probably as
had to
old as
help
my
us clean
kids.
up because that was part of the deal.
Can you hear this all right? All right. I don't sing this song real often. I haven't really shared it in public much because it's really personal. Um, but it's sort of a memorial to a friend of mine. My goodness, I'm doing two songs about people who almost died. This guy did die. Um, he was one of my closest friends as a teenager, and he was a songwriter and a poet and an actor and just a brilliantly creative guy. And we just did all kinds of crazy things together. Um, and he was gay. He asked me. He invited me to be his date to his senior prom, which I was not brave enough to do in 1975. And anyway, I met Gail. We got married, moved out to Nebraska, and I was in Bible school. And I got the news that he had died. He was hitchhiking in Pennsylvania and got hit by a truck. And it really created a lot of confusion in me at the time because it was a very conservative Bible school, and I was being taught that homosexuality is a sin, and he's going to hell because he was gay. And so I was hearing this from one side, but he's my friend and I love him. And I suffered in that tension for a long, long time, and many years later realized I had been denied the simple freedom to mourn the loss. And I felt kind of ashamed because I felt like I'd let him down. And so this is the song that came out of that. It's called Pennsylvania Road. Was in the winter of 1973. Horizon introduced himself to me. Poet and a dreamer, two crazy fools. We shared life and broke the rules. We danced for donuts on the Boston streets. Rainbow suspenders, nothing on our feet. He spoke for Harold, I danced with Maud. Sometimes I can't believe he's gone. I'm not ashamed to call him friend. We were different, we were both men. He rode our thumbs from town to town. I never knew when he might come back around. Somehow I feel I let him down. I took a wife, started a family, settled down to a life of responsibility. I chose the church, he chose the road. That's the way some friendships go. One day I got the news that he had died. My heart broke, but I couldn't cry. To love a man like him was wicked, I was told. So I left my heart beside that Pennsylvania road. I'm not ashamed to call him friend. We were different, we were both men. We rode our thumbs from town to town. I never knew when he might come back around. I still feel I let him down. Pennsylvania road, I left my heart beside that Pennsylvania road. Thank you.
Very, very touching, and I
That was very nice.
started tearing up.
Thank you.
Well, the next person has made me cry on numerous occasions, and I might cry in a good way, and I might cry again by what she will be reading for us. So our communications director, Sierra, is going to read a little short story that she wrote, and I hope you all enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Amanda. On the theme of death, I'm gonna continue. This is so I took I finished my master's degree in English this summer, and I had one class I had to take, and then I got to take whatever else I wanted. At this point, I had all the credits I needed, so I got to take a creative writing workshop, which was super exciting. And we were given different topics and different mediums to explore. So this is a short story, and this is creative nonfiction. So, and I did share it on Facebook, so you might have seen it on Facebook. But this is my revised version for open mic night tonight. I am not great at reading out loud sometimes, nor was this necessarily written to be performed as much as read. But I hope you enjoy it. So, this is an Ode to the Bumblebee. There has been one singular bumblebee gracing our garden this spring. We have honeybees galore, but there's only one bumblebee that I have seen. Buzzy, buzzy, bumbly, she travels back and forth through the chain link fence that separates our garden from the one next door. I've had many discussions about this bee with our 7-year-old neighbor, and my husband and I both excitedly point her out every time she comes around. In hopes of bringing more bees into our lives, I'd planted a special section of wildflowers in our yard. I've saved this bumblebee from my pit bull several times. My husband likes to make buzzing noises while navigating potato chips around the room and into our dog's mouth. You know how parents do it with, they zoom airplane-shaped plastic spoons full of applesauce into their baby's toothless mouths? That's what my husband does, but with bumblebee noises, potato chips, and a drooling pit bull named Ladybug. This seemed to be a non-issue until last summer when bugs started chasing and trying to eat bees. Most notably, the big buzzy bumblebee that graced us last year. Despite banning buzzing potato chips inside the home, I do continue to have to shout, "Leave it," every time bug crosses paths with a bee. This morning, I awoke to a hot, dry day, which was a welcome reprieve from the drizzling rain that has dampened my mood all week. I started the hose and watered my fledgling garden, peppers, beans, tomatoes, mint. As I prepared to water the potted herbs, I picked up my colorful watering can. I peeked inside to see how much water was left. Floating inside was my bee. I was heartbroken. I told myself that maybe it was that damn horsefly that flew inside my office window yesterday, but I knew it was the bee. I knew she wasn't the same bee as last year, and honestly, I might see a different bee every day for all I know. But it still made me sad that she had drowned, and in my watering can nonetheless. The same watering can that I used to encourage the growth of the plants that I wanted her to pollinate. That big buzzy bee that I would get so excited to see. The bee that already has the odds stacked against her in a world that doesn't care much for creatures without the faces and emotions that we recognize. I thought about her getting trapped, struggling, surrendering. I just hoped that it was quick. I poured the bee out into the deck, let her dry in the sun, and collected her in a small plastic storage container. I had gotten close to bumblebees before, enough to see their fuzzy stripes, but I had never looked one in the face or noticed in detail how they're built. I don't love insects, but I know they're important. I let them live, but I don't try to interact closely or examine them. I didn't touch her. I knew that she was dead, but I still half expected her to come buzzing back to life. I examined her black and yellow sections, her dark amber-colored wings, and the stripes along the inside of her abdomen. She has no eyelids, I learned from Google, and I think she was a common eastern bumblebee and a female worker bee. She had 6 legs with details so intricate and small, I knew I couldn't fully appreciate them without a magnifying glass. Her top 2 legs were folded daintily across her tiny thorax. I admired her face and the incredible work I knew her little body did for the world. I looked into her big black eyes. I told her that I'm sorry, and although I know this world is full of hazards for bees, I will remove one by ensuring that my watering can is always empty. I told her thank you as I laid her to rest amongst the wildflowers, asking that she watch over her kind while they are in our space. A few hours later, I heard a soft, familiar sound. Another fuzzy, buzzy bumblebee has graced me with her presence.
That's a cool story.
Thank you.
You know, I don't think people really understand the importance of bees. You know, I know that my Rotary Club here in town, we actually have a project and we have about half an acre where what we've done is exactly that. We have planted flowers to encourage bees. We have half an acre full of flowers just to have bees.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been stung a few times, but I still like planting the wildflowers.
Okay, well,
I've
you
been
didn't
stung
fail
by-
in making me cry, so good job. Next, we're going to have the lovely Bonnie share. I think she forgot to share with us some of what she has been creating.
Well, I've enjoyed this. Thank you. That was so much fun. I feel like people are creative when they feel safe too. I think that there's a lot of people who want to be creative, but they don't feel like they can let it out. So I think providing a safe place for people to be creative, for children to be creative, and just appreciating other people when they are, let that all out and encouraging them, then I think that's also, because I think we all are. I know that there's another person here in this group that every day she's with me at the garden, she proves to me once again that she is creative with her photography and her ability to fix things. It's beautiful. So there's so many different ways to be creative. I'm going to show you a few of the little paintings that I've done. And the reason that I did these was because I was home and I had wanted to do Shabbat candles, but it was exactly what I needed to do to let the light in when all of this COVID stuff started happening, because I focused on these candles. The series I did before this was Hamza. I can see one in Amanda's background here. Yeah, right there, which was protection, you know, and so that was that theme when I did that series. And the other series that I did before that was for my grandkids. Everything they wanted, anything they wanted, I would paint for them. If it was a train, or if it was, what did Ari want? He wanted a circus. So I painted a circus with a lion. Ari means lion, and he plays the ukulele. So I had a ukulele, a ukulele playing lion at his circus. So that's all it is. I haven't painted for years and years until I had grandkids. So I've been liberated. So I'll just show you a few of these. This one I kind of fashioned after Armenian pottery. This is a black and white, just a very simple one. Can you see it?
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Simple.
This is another one, just a variation on a theme. Yeah, it's just, they're very simple and very sweet. I think the ones that I like the best have growing things in them. And I also like to do the edging, which is just a quirky thing that I do. Yeah, this is another variation on a theme. Yeah, and this, I don't know where that came from. Yeah, and so this one, and this is still yet another. So you can just see, I just kept going like this. This is, I think, the only one that I did like this. This is pomegranates, Shabbat candles. So this is supposed to be Jerusalem here. So yeah, it was fun. It still is fun. I have to tell you, I really don't want to do Shabbat candles right now. So I'm going to move on to something else. Maybe in the fall, that's when I like it the best, when I'm inside, because nowadays I'm not inside, I'm outside. So yeah, it's something that I like to do. And the second that my grandkids say they want something, I'll drop everything I'm doing and do what they want. So
That is
I
lovely.
have this one of yours. I think of you. It's in my office, and I think of you every day, and I love it. And you're wonderful.
and I love you right back.
Love you too.
Those are beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. This was fun.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to share my screen one more time to give you some parting thoughts. And then Kyle will sing us one more song as we say goodnight. So let me share my screen. And hold on, got to move all this stuff. Okay. So my challenge, if you choose to accept, is to, during the week, just keep a list of things that spark some creativity in you. If you see them, jot them down. Maybe have a sticky note on the fridge that you can just go to when you're like, oh yeah, that made me think of something in a different way. Reflect on how those things, how they interact with your senses. So is it just through sight? Is it sound? Is it taste? And how can you work on just kind of be in touch with those senses? And then how can you, after what you've reflected on, how can you make something new? So that's kind of my challenge to you all. And then if you wanted to, share your experiences, write a little perspective piece, Carmela, the paper you were thinking about writing about, we could possibly also share it. So if you're interested in sharing that with the larger Tri-Faith community through our perspectives area on our website, you can contact me or Sierra, and we can get that. We can let you know how many words and when we can post it. So with that being said, Kyle, are you ready for one more song? Thank you.
All right, I do have one happy song in my repertoire. And this is one of my oldest songs. It was 1976, I think, that I wrote this. And I was with some friends in New Hampshire, and we drove down to the shore to watch the sunrise over the ocean. And it didn't happen. It was too cloudy, no sunrise. So we drove up the coast into Maine, see if the sun would rise there, and it didn't rise there either. I told you this was a happy song. I must have lied. It's, but it was just a good time. It would have been cool if we'd actually seen the sunrise, but it was cool just being together and enjoying the day. And really, it's a song about embracing yourself and your relationship with the universe and being at peace with who you are. or at least for me, who I am. And this is called Saga of a Saturday Morning Sunrise. I've been down talking to the sea, cruising down the road on a Saturday morn, feeling like I'd just been born. And this is what he said to me: life has got so much in store for you, don't need to ask for nothing more. A seagull stopped by to say hello, and the air is fresh with the smell of spring, and I ain't worried about anything. The only thing that matters is the going. But for right now I'll just sing my song, then I got to keep on moving on. Yeah, for right now I'll just sing my song, then I got to keep on moving on. We crossed the bridge up into Maine, and the lazy world is waking while the clouds are slowly breaking. The sea don't care what's in a name, 'cause the more it's always changing, the more it all just stays the same. Yeah, the more it's always changing, the more it all just stays the same. I'm down here singing to the sea, and the smell of seaweed's in the air, and the cold wind's blowing through my hair. I love to live a life that's free. I don't worry about tomorrow. All I am is all I want to be. No, I don't worry about tomorrow. All I am is all I want to be. All I am is all I want to be. All I am is all I want to be. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, everybody, and Kyle for providing us with 3 lovely songs. And everybody for being, vulnerable and open with showing your art. I know it's not an easy thing to do, and I don't normally do it a ton. So I appreciate everybody for doing that.
One more thing. So we really would love to get some feedback from you on this event, because it's something we haven't tried before. And so mostly it's not about the demographic stuff as much as if in the open paragraph, if there's anything you want to suggest about how we could do this again, or how we could do it different, or how we could do it the same. Sierra's going to put a link in the chat.
Yep, it's already in the chat.
Get there.
Thank you. Then I'll send it out for just a reminder in case you don't get it done tonight.
Okay, good. Good. Thank you.
So thank you all, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you all for sharing.
Thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your beautiful art with us.
Talented people.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
Everybody was wonderful.
Yeah, I love you guys too. Hey, Bonnie.
Thanks.